Welcome to the Money, Mindset and Miracles podcast, helping you to grow a predictable and scalable month of high income from your business as gracefully as possible. I'm Rachel Smith, business coach, mindset expert, and the founder of Momentum Mastermind, your 90-day sprint to scaling your business to 5K. Join me every week as I dive into the tips, inspirational stories, and strategies that are going to support you on your journey to growing your awesome business. Hello and a really warm welcome to this, the final podcast for 2023. And I can't think of a better way to finish this year with actually creating an episode which is all about your vision board for 2024. This is what I'm going to cover in today's episode. First of all, I'm going to share with you why I believe that having a vision board is deeply transformational and my own personal story of realizing how transformational having a vision board is. And also I'm going to walk you through the very simple steps of how to get started with your own vision board if this is something that you're interested in. The reason why I believe vision boarding is really inspirational is for a number of things. First of all, you are intentionally taking time out of your normal busyness. You are creating space and intention to sit down and to think about the things that you want to call in, to experience, to succeed in the next 12 months. So just having that head and heart space to think about your next 12 months is powerful in itself. And if that's all you do, that is amazing. It's going to give you clarity. It's going to give you some goals to move towards. It's going to really inspire you. But you can actually take this step a little bit further. And on this podcast and in the work that I do with my clients, I talk a lot about your mindset and programming your unconscious mind for the things that you do want in life. And a lot of the exercises and resources that I share and the things that I work on with my clients is very much about removing limiting beliefs and setting intention and clearing the path energetically to receiving the things that you do want. And I love visualizations, and creating a vision board is a big visualization exercise. And on a mindset basis is that we believe that you cannot create something that you haven't seen first in your mind's eye. And what I like to do on a mindset side of things is help my clients to see what is possible, to create a pathway to the reality that you're moving towards. And to give you the resources such as visualizations, EFT, hypnosis, that's going to really help to program in those things that you want to experience, those things that you want to have, and for it to feel normal for you. It unblocks you and it opens up all of the possibilities that are already there, yet you cannot see them. And how this transpired for me with using a vision board is back in 2012. I was running a life coaching business. I was kind of doing it light touch. My youngest child was only 2. I'd just come out of my corporate life and I was working with women on helping them to increase their confidence and overcome their fears and phobias. At the start of 2012, I was like, actually, I want to become more intentional. The reality was that the redundancy that I'd got from my corporate job was kind of coming to an end, and I could see that actually I needed to either go back into the corporate world or I needed to make a success of my business. So without having too much of an idea about how that was going to happen, what I decided to do at the beginning of 2012 is to actually sit down and create a vision board. And I completed the steps that I'm going to take you through in a moment. And I created my first vision board, popped it away. Fast forward to October 2012, and I was getting ready for an event that I was very, very nervous about. And what had transpired in the 10 months of that year is that somebody that I'd been connected to through the coaching world had a franchise for setting up women's networking groups in your local area. And even though I was a life coach at the time, so this wasn't my ideal client, I just was really drawn to the idea of setting up a women's only networking group. I'd researched it, and all of the research shared that there were already in existence networking groups, and I'd gone along and I'd experienced them, and some of them were amazing. But I knew that there was just something missing. And even though it made absolutely no sense at all for me to follow this path, I actually tuned into my intuition and I went for it. And at this event, there was going to be myself speaking, the founder of the franchise, and I'd also been in contact with and secured a really inspirational local businesswoman who had a multi-million-pound wedding business where they hired out giant teepees for weddings. Now, a side note to this, at this point in time, I truly believed that I was terrified of speaking in public. And what I learnt from running that networking event by programming myself for what I did want and for working on myself and giving myself the opportunity to step out of my comfort zone, lo and behold, if I didn't discover that I actually love presenting, my vision board led me to doing the things that were completely out of my comfort zone. Of all the things that I told myself that I couldn't do, actually led me to transforming my business. It led me to changing my niche eventually, where I started specializing with working with female entrepreneurs, and everything at that point changed. And I really think it came back to this vision board, because as I was getting ready that evening, I noticed that my vision board was actually just kind of poking out from my mirror. And as I pulled it out, I was looking at the vision board and I was recapping on the things that I'd put on the vision board. And right in the bottom left-hand corner, lo and behold, if there wasn't a picture of a teepee, I was just so blown away with the fact that I'd actually put it on my vision board, and how it later on over the 3.5 years, like, absolutely transformed who I was as a person, but also my business as well. And it made me realize the power of a vision board is that allows those things, those bigger things to transpire, allows you to step into those things that are actually going to be deeply transformational for you. So this is why I think having a vision board is exceptional. And I really want to encourage you to set some time aside and go through these steps that I'm now going to share with you, that's going to help you to think about how you can create your own vision board. So let's actually work through those steps. Let's get started. So step 1 is make it a nice experience. You might want to do it with a few friends. You might want to do it with family members. Or you might actually want to do it on your own, but make this like a really nice experience. You might want to light a candle. You might want to have like an inspirational soundtrack, or you might just want some peace and quiet. The second step is to decide how you're actually going to create your vision board. I think the most impactful way to create a vision board is to get a big piece of card and to get some images. But I have created vision boards using Pinterest. Step 3 is to decide on the duration. For me, I always set a 12-month vision board. Is it something that you're looking to create in 12 months' time, 3 years' time, 5 years' time? Become aware of what your timescale is. Step 4 is become intentional and open. And with that, you really want to just give yourself the space. You might want to close your eyes, you might want to journal on it, but just to close your eyes and to really connect with where you want to be within your specified timescale. When I'm creating my vision board for 2024, I'll be thinking about where do I want to be in my life and in my business by December 2024. And I would allow everything that I want, everything I desire to come through me. And I would allow myself to get into alignment, to feel excited, to be bold as well with that kind of dreaming. And if you're like, oh, I don't know how to get started with this, I don't know how to get into that, I will link down in the show notes a visualization recording that I've got on the podcast that you can use if you just need that kind of headspace to think, right, well, what do I want? What do I want it to look like? So I really want for you to connect with how you want to be experiencing life. What do you want to have achieved in your timescale? And again, it's always with the caveat of 2 things. You're putting aside the how, you're not worrying about that, and you're allowing yourself to be bold. So just see yourself living as you want to live in the future. Step 5 is to start to select those images. So without questioning, select images. So if you've got magazines or images, you might just be like grabbing the ones that really resonate with you. Discard the things that don't. If you're on Pinterest, you'll be able to do exactly the same thing. Step 6 is you will have like a stack of images, and there'll be some that you are really drawn to, and they're the ones you absolutely want to be putting on your vision board. And there'll be other things that you will have pulled and thought, actually on reflection, I don't feel in alignment with those. They're not the right things for me. You might have chosen words, you might have chosen destinations that you want to travel to, and you might be like, actually, that's not for me. Put those to one side. Don't worry about those. They're not for you. And then when you're actually starting to create your board, the first thing that I would think about is like, what is your why? And so many people miss this step out when they're looking at setting goals. And I talk about this in more detail in my previous podcast. And again, I'll put it down in the show notes, where I talk about how you can set income goals that actually mean something to you in a way that will help you to achieve them as well. So if you've not listened to that, I'll put the link in the show notes and you can go and listen to that as well, because that will really help you to step into this. Think first of all, what is your why for 2024? What is your mission? What is the impact that you want to have on your loved ones, on your finances, on your health, on the world? So think about the impact that you're looking to create. Now, this step is completely up to you. As you start to pull your board together, whether you're doing that on card, in a journal, or on Pinterest, is that you can choose to group your images dependent on a couple of different categories. And I'll give you an idea of what those categories are in a moment. Or you might just decide to just put them anywhere. I tend to group them together. So all the images that kind of feel as though they're about my personal growth. So that might be like qualifications that I want to do. It may be experiences that I want to have. It might be about completing a project. It could be about renovating my workspace, whatever that looks like. So think about your own personal growth as a category. So you could have an amount of money in mind. It could be the things that wealth allow you to have. So maybe that you become debt free. Maybe it means that as a family, you have greater choice. Maybe it means that you can travel more. Whatever is important to you, and then you might have a category for your health. So whatever that looks like for you, it might be that you have an ambition to get in your daily 10,000 steps, or it could be that you want to meditate more. You put down all of those images, all of those things that are relevant to you under the category of health. And you carry on doing that for all the things that are important to you. So you might have a category for love and relationships. Once you've got your images that you want to have on your board, move them around on your board, get really happy with the placement, and then just glue them down, stick them down, and you will have a board. And then step 7 is your final step. And as you connect with that board, as you see everything in that board, and there may be some things that are like really, really clear about what it means to you. And there may be other things like my TP that you think it's one thing and it's not, it's another thing. But whatever it is, you connect with that board, and you might want to do an exercise where you anchor it in. You might want to use a visualization exercise that I'm going to share down in the show notes. Whatever it is, after you've done that, step 7 is actually about putting that board aside. So putting it to one side so that you understand on a cellular level that everything you have put down, everything you've seen in your mind's eye, everything that you were connected to put onto your vision board, that you are open to receiving that however it decides to show up in your life. And you might actually want to set that as an intention. And then you put it aside, you set your goals, and you start taking action. And you are likely to have an experience like me in 6, 7, 8, 9 months after you've created your vision board, where you actually look at your vision board and go, oh my goodness me, that's what that meant. Oh my gosh, that's happened. You will begin to see just how powerful it is to imprint into your unconscious mind and your conscious mind exactly what it is that you want, and to be open and bold about receiving it as well. So I hope you have loved this podcast. It's given you some inspiration and ideas about how you can create your own vision board for you and your business. If you would love to come and tell me what you create or share me your images, I would love to see them. Just drop me a message. Let me know how you've got on with creating your vision board. You can connect with me in all the ways underneath in the show notes. Have a really fabulous time in 2024. It is numerologically the number 8, which is all about abundance and expansion. So with that energy, I want to wish you a happy new year and looking forward to connecting with you again in all the ways of growing your business in 2024. Okay, bye for now.